Maybe I could just start by asking you if you want to say your name. You don't have to.
Oh, my name's Lorie.
Lorie. Hi, Lorie.
Hi.
And we're on a 911 Truth march here all throughout downtown Portland, and I see you're a young person. You've joined, and you marched with us. What do you got to say to the internet or the young people out there?
Well, if any young people happen to be listening to this, which I really hope you are, and I know that a few of you are, get your friends to join in. Get your friends to realize that being informed is not a trend or a thing of the past or even an option. It's something that, we need to take very seriously because it is transforming the very shape and the nature of the politics that govern the world that we live in. And those don't just dictate our lives, they dictate the lives of billions of other people. So we need to be very aware of this.
Do you feel like there's very many young people out involved in this peace movement or this 911 Truth movement?
No, not enough. I really don't.
Really?
I see a general attitude of disdain or confusion or kind of, I would say disdain would be the best word to cover that.
Disdain?
Yeah, disdain. Because it's something that a lot of my peers see. I was a freshman in high school on September 11th, 2001. I have a really hard time finding people that I can relate to that are my age, because most of them seem very comfortable to look the other way, and I can understand that. Being raised in a middle-class family or whatever, you are prone to the common distractions, which include television, and the thousands upon thousands of ads that we are exposed to every single day. And it's very hard to find people who have taken the time to reevaluate whether or not they want to be a part of that, or whether or not that is the way that things can or should or...
All these distractions.
Yeah, I know.
So, like you're in your early 20s?
I'm 20, yeah.
You're 20. And would you say there's like out of 10 people, you're the one? I'm not seeing very many young people out on the streets either protesting.
Yeah, no.
It's all middle-aged people and older people, and it seems like it's even some people from the 60s that are coming back out to protest again.
Well, it's really difficult to really understand what's going on if you don't know the history behind it, which is something that takes time to sit down and sift through and realize, that this affected this, and Churchill created Iraq, and, it's hard to get back into, this past 100 years or so and evaluate every little thing that affected every other little thing, and it's tiring, and it's exhausting, and it's very uncomfortable, because if you go to sources that aren't going to feed you crap, then what you're going to find tends to be a lot different than the stuff most people read, which I've always found to be really strange for some reason. So, yeah, it's...
I have a question. What are you doing, like yourself, to try to be involved? I seen you came out today, and you probably read this on Indie Media or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that... do you... Tell me just a couple things you do to try to make some change in this world or to bring peace or to...
Well, besides my own habits, my own consumer habits, where I put my money, which I think is one of the first things that you should pay attention to when you're living in this kind of a society. I mean, you support, Kimberly Clark, they're going to continue to clear-cut boreal forests. I mean, all of our simple, tiny decisions are so intrinsically, connected to so many bigger decisions that it can be exhausting, tiring, and just not, I don't know, it's not something people want to deal with. So
Speaking with your money?
Speaking with your money, also getting on the internet, getting involved in news forums, talking to people and leaving comments, researching for yourself and talking to people on a daily basis, I think is the most effective thing that you can do. Being an informed person that can approach other people or react to a comment or, elaborate on something someone else said in a social situation has a lot of power to influencing people's people's minds. I mean, or at least influencing them to step outside the box and see past what was initially, given to them as
Spoon-fed them.
Yeah, spoon-fed to them. So.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So you're active on the internet. You put your money into things that are good for this world as you spend and support. And you obviously came out on the street today and walked around for 4 hours or so.
Yeah.
So that's good. Do you write your senators or contact congressmen?
I call them regularly. I call both senators regularly and
engage in conversations with just people in general with you work with and passing around, or
the place that I work gives me a great forum to do that, because I do work and the politics and government section is pretty much my baby.
Oh, cool!
And
Lucky
so,
you.
Yeah, I get to tell people what's new, what's out there, and I get to keep up to date on it all. I get to basically. I also get kind of an unfortunate glimpse into the corporate structure of media distribution, which it's pretty dangerous. It's pretty it's falling apart as we speak. It's as bad as the commercial, the mainstream media, because it is the mainstream media. They are owned by many of the same companies, many of the book publishers, and what we stock and what we display depends on who pays us to stock and display it. So we have a lot of I'm not making this up. We have a ton of books on Mitt Romney. We have a ton of books on Ann Coulter. We have a ton of books on George Tenet, and we have all this back stock of their crap. But we sell out of liberal books, and we don't get them back in for 4 weeks, or we just or if a new release comes out that's liberal, we'll get 15 copies of it, and it'll be gone, and we'll be sold out for 2 more weeks. And it's a blatant, it's a very blatant move to stifle people's
free speech and their opinions and the truth.
Their way to access knowledge.
Yeah.
I mean.
Interesting. I wasn't really quite aware of that aspect of it all.
Yeah.
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 Well, thanks a lot. And gosh, I wonder what it would take to get the youth involved. Do they need iPods or rap music, or what?
No, they need to see that that's what it's not all about. They need to seriously believe that, and something needs to happen that, not necessarily anything violent, not necessarily anything, well, it does have to be revolutionary at this point, because it has to counteract, the good has to counteract the evil, and I just don't see any other way to get through to people unless you can get past that smoke screen. And I don't think you can use that smoke screen anymore, because then it just becomes part of it. So I think that the consumer blanket, I think people need to be aware of what that really entails. And it's a lot more than meets the eye. So.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you're young and you're involved and you're active and you're speaking out. You got some real good ideas. You're really informed. And it's inspiring to see young people. Maybe you can inspire others.
Yeah.
And encourage others like I'm doing. And really, the world is more of the youth's world. This is you guys' future.
This is why I do not understand the complacency, because this is what we are going to be. This is our lives.
It's your lives. It's your future.
Children's lives. All the people I know, all the women I know that are my age, younger, a year older, and that already have children. What kind of need is that creating? I don't know. I heard something the other day about how cultures where women are treated more as just simply a maternal object rather than treated as a voice in society or given a role in society other than being that maternal figure, they tend to have higher population rates. They tend to have larger families. And this doesn't really have anything to do with birth control. It has to do with how complacent the women are and how out of the loop they are. And that usually is dictated by how liberal or conservative a government is. So
do you get involved with women's issues somewhat? Do you take an interest in some of the issues that are out there by women that are, even like, for example, Code Pink's out there raising a lot of...
Yeah, they are. I do, but I think it's important to reach out to people that might avoid just listening to that coming from that one angle.
Yeah.
Because I think that that's one of the hardest stereotypes to overcome is the feminists. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks a lot.
Yeah.